What's going on, everybody? Hey, finally, it's here, the Nicktendo Direct podcast. What's going on, everybody? We are back with another NDP.
But we're going to see a spike in free-to-play games, mark my words, and they're going to do this Battle Pass model.
Then strike three, you're putting copyright claims on whoever uploads your video. So
whoa, I didn't know that part.
That thing for like $20, something like that.
When we get this YouTube money, Nick.
The only reason, oh god, yo, you alright, bro?
So guys, do you guys want to know the best experience with Fortnite? Let's take a good look. Y'all gonna drop kick you.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? How we doing today? How we doing this fine Sunday evening? I hope y'all are doing great. Hope y'all feeling good. Back Patreon podcast episode number 2. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a great one. We got some decent topics to go through. We're gonna mess around. Conga Line said podcast notices a surprise game chat. It's pretty much gonna be like a stream chat. We're just gonna be BSing. So regardless, let's just go ahead and see who we got here. Let me start out with the two newbies. I said new bodies. I was gonna say new bodies, but they are new bodies. But the two newbies here. Let's start with Loki, man. How are you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, Nick. Hello, everybody.
Yes, sir. Yes,
good
sir.
to be here.
Good to have you here. Since this was your idea. You know what I mean? Like this whole thing was your idea. This whole thing was your idea. You were like, "Yo," I said, "Hey, I'm gonna bring back the podcast." And you're like, "Hey, you should make it where the Patreons are on it." And I was like, "That's a great idea." And then you didn't show up for the first episode.
Well, if I told you why, it would be a long story.
Oh, I'm just messing with you, bro. I'm not that mad about it, but you know what I mean. But good to have you on here today. Well, I'm great to have you on here today. Like, really, really glad. So, let's start with Adrian, not another game collector. What's going on, man? You there, bro?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Hello? Can you hear me? Damn it, this thing. I knew it.
Anyway, what's up, man?
I'm like, can you hear me now, though?
Yes, sir.
I'm good?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Technical difficulties. I knew it wasn't.
It's all good.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir, man. Good to have you on. Appreciate you for coming through. It's going to be a good one. Jakin, what's going on, man?
What's up, buddy?
This
is a great start.
It's a great start. Man, these things happen. It's not like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It happens.
Yeah, I like it.
I like it too. So, what's going on, Zach?
Not much. Just pumped out some gains today.
Yeah, man, pumped out some gains. Tell everybody what you've been doing.
I did a very rigorous link regimen, and I did a mile run around the park beforehand.
Bro, I'm having hard time breathing listening to you say that.
Hey, I used to be a track runner. I ran a mile in 5 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, I used to run a mile in 4:30. But
that's a lie, Nick.
That's not a lie. I got receipts too. I got receipts and medals.
A mile in 4:30?
Yes.
That's close to Olympic time.
Olympic time is 3:40. Yes, but that's not close at all when you think about it. But yes, I ran a mile in 4:30 in high school.
You ran cross country?
I did run cross country, and I was going to go to college to run cross country, but then I said, you know what? I don't feel like running anymore, so I'm not going to college to run cross country.
So, because with 4:30, you should be coming in first most of the time, right?
I was close, but there was another school that had dudes that were breaking 4-minute miles in high school. So no, I was not coming in first place because dudes were breaking 4-minute miles in high school ahead of me. It was ridiculous. Yeah, it was ridiculous. But either way, Jake muted me. What? Jake, who got muted?
What?
Who got
I looked
muted?
at my thing and it said he muted me.
Okay. Oh, I couldn't hear that, so I was trying to work some magic.
It's all good. Last but not least, Avidan, how you doing, man?
I'm chilling, man.
I'm doing good. How was Too Many Games?
Freaking amazing, dog.
I bet it was. Too bad, Not all of us could be there, but I was glad to see y'all.
Next year, you and Jenkins, and I know y'all like, and definitely you too, Adrian. Y'all got to be there next year.
Oh yeah, man. I'm definitely. I'm planning on E3 and too many games. So
make sure Josh comes, because you make sure Josh comes through.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna talk to him about it too.
Josh and I are road tripping.
We
planned it next
I know.
year.
We're just gonna be packed for that, and because of E3, because we're both planning on doing those next year. We've talked a bit about it too. Me and Josh.
You, me, and Josh are road tripping, Jake. It's gonna be you and Josh.
Nah,
for the Midwest.
You gotta drive to my house, and then we'll drive to Josh.
I mean, I don't care where I gotta drive, but I'm just saying we road tripping. Midwest boys over here. That's all I'm saying. Like we're gonna be road tripping. So I mean. Tell us about the experience, Avidan, because I saw the pictures. Y'all out hanging out, y'all doing stuff, going to the mall. You met up with Sincere. Chips was there. NX Revolution was there. The whole squad, pretty much half the show squad was there. So,
well, the experience is like it's really cool. It's really laid back. Like you get there and you definitely walk in and you see a whole bunch. I'm gonna say this in my vlog later, but you see a whole bunch of things. You see all. You see a whole bunch of indie devs, and you see a lot of people also selling old and used games. So you can see games from like the Atari all the way up to like NES, Super NES. Chips was even looking for Michael Jackson Moonwalker, and that that's a rare game. So they were selling that in full case for like $100.
Dang.
And, you see. But on the last day, that's how you get your deals. We're not gonna get too much into that.
Right.
What else? You see a whole bunch of things, man. Like, you see like you get to try out games that are not available in the market. So you get to demo some indie games. Got to try out a few great indie games. Shout out to Pixel Division. Their game, one of their games it was just amazing. And I would just say, you really just. It's like that's the one half of it, but the other half of it, man, is just really meeting a lot of these people like you met online. Like a lot of these YouTubers that you're friends with, that you follow on Twitter, follow each other's channel, you comment on their work. To actually get to see them, hang out with them, talk with them, that was the experience. That was like the real like tip of the iceberg. Be able just to sit down and chill with them and just talk on more of a personal level and just get to know each other a little bit more.
That's what I'm jealous of, man. I really wanted to hang out with everybody. I really wanted to hang out with everybody for real, like especially Sincere. Like I want to hang out with Sincere for real, but I didn't get to. I was really jealous of y'all.
I do agree with you 100% on that, Avidan, because when I got to meet Josh and Fabian and all those other guys at E3, it was like people I knew forever, just didn't get to shake their hands and stuff. So. Yeah, it's a good time getting to meet up with fellow YouTubers, for sure.
Yes, sir.
You have to remind them Fabian is Gamers on TV.
Yeah, I forget.
Yeah, dude, it's like, like we met, we saw J Love, we saw Die Hard Gamers.
T-Belly.
T-Belly is a homie. Let's see, J Love, we saw Mega Dan. Saw Russ Lyman, saw Jordan Fringe. Had a opportunity. You guys saw the picture. I saw the opportunity to see Boogie. So awesome. You get to really see and just talk with a lot of people, and it's really cool, man. It's really cool. Like you see, the convention is there. The convention, we're just going for the convention itself. You do get some good gems there. I went to Scott DeWaz's panel and everything. He's a cool dude, and you see a lot of cool things there. But the other side of it is just being able to hang out. Like, I would say the stuff afterwards, when you leave the event and you're just hanging out, when it's not all about business anymore. That's the part of it that is really dope. That's the real networking part. And that's where you see the other side of this YouTube thing, where it's like, yeah, this legit is, you building a business and a brand if you decide to go down that route. And it really helps reaffirm your focus if you have one. And if you don't have one, you're able to talk with different people to even gain that focus. If that make any sense.
Gotcha. But speaking of fellow YouTubers, Chris Levi just hopped in here late. What's going on,
man? What's up, Chris Levi?
I'm good. I hopped in there late because I didn't get the link until Zach sent it to me. Just letting you know.
What are you talking about? I sent you the link, my guy. I sent you the link.
I don't see it anywhere.
Oh, you know what? You're right. I didn't send you the link. That's on me. I swear I did because I actually counted. What happened was I clicked on your name and it was up. I counted like how many people. I was like, okay, 5. Everybody got the link. So my bad, bro. My bad. That's on me.
Oh, it's okay.
That's on me.
Your boy Zach keep a track out here for you.
Anyway, welcome. So we do got some we do have some decent topics. We're gonna talk about EA. We're gonna talk about EA. We're gonna talk about. I mean, we're gonna go in on EA. We're gonna go in on 2 Cent after what they did with NBA 2K this week. You know, we're gonna talk about Metroid Prime 4, Xbox, and Breath of the Wild. Let's just start with Metroid Prime 4 for y'all, because I know all of us here are Nintendo fans. So reportedly, well, not reportedly, like they actually put it up. Like Retro Games is just now recruiting for Metroid Prime 4. It seems like they're just now hiring for the beginning stages of it. So I really just want to talk. Like some people had hope that it would come out in the next 2 years, which I was like, yo, I don't think that's possible. And now that kind of reaffirms that it's not. Now that they're just now beginning, they're at the beginning stages of the hiring process. To you guys, this is the question that I had. Let me see here. Do you think this is going to come to the Switch, or you think this is going to be like one of the first things that comes out on the next generation, the next console? Like, do you guys think it's coming out anytime soon, or what do y'all got? Let me start with you, Loki, since you said you got some notes. So let's start with you.
Yeah, man. Basically, what I'm thinking with Metroid Prime 4 is you want to hope if Nintendo gave it over to Retro, that basically after all these years from the Prime trilogy, someone from Retro has been, fan making the next Metroid Prime game. Because these programmer guys, they work on stuff independently and they mess with stuff. So hopefully they were someone working at Retro all these years who has assets from the Prime trilogy, who was working on the next Metroid game. And that's why when Nintendo said, listen, because Nintendo isn't going to just give this over to another studio unless that studio has something to show for it. And if that's the case, that tells me this game is going to be the latest 2021. It's going to be on this Switch, not the next Switch.
Right, that's what I'm feeling the same thing. Jake says, I can't hear Loki, Chris, or Zach. Leave and come back. Jake. Leave and come back. That might help. Yeah,
because I can hear everybody.
So it might be a thing. So leave and come back. I can hear music in the background. Yeah, Robert, we have chill music in the background. That's what we do here. So yeah, there's music on the background on purpose. So how you doing, man? Thanks for stopping by. I agree with you, Loki. When I saw that they were just now hiring it really did disappoint me a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, man, I thought y'all would have been hiring as soon as you announced that Retro Studios was doing it, not hire 5 months later. Like I thought they were already in, but I guess not.
Well, they could be hiring because they're replacing someone that left.
That's true. That much is true. Chris, what do you think about this, man? What do you think about this? Because you did suggest this topic, so what do you think?
Well, it feels like to me that this title, it just keeps going back and back farther, and it's like our hope from it coming out was this Switch. It's still there, but it's like less and less when you see them just hiring people, because they announced this Switch from, wasn't it? Who was the one? Do y'all know who was helping them try to make the game first before it went back to Retro?
Bandai.
It's like, okay, what was Bandai really doing for all that time they had the Metroid IP, and there's Nintendo saying, we want you to work on it with you. Now it's going back to Retro, who made the games famous on the GameCube and everything, and it's like you're waiting 5 months after you've already announced at the beginning of the year to start hiring people and all this. So yes, I believe it could come on this Switch, but I feel like it could be one of those generation games where it's like, oh, we're coming at the end of the generation where you get it on this Switch and the next Switch.
Yeah,
because
that's
how far it could be. Like, my hopes is I can see it come out in 2021, maybe 2022, but with its competitors, the Xbox and PlayStation, gearing up for the next one, and Nintendo knows they're going to have to do some kind of revision with this. They're going to have to think of how they're going to do this Metroid Prime game to make it maximize for Nintendo with their sales on the console.
Madeline T always coming through says Metroid traditionally has a short development time. I mean, I don't know too much. What's up, Saltiest? I don't know too much about them having a short development time, but I still think though it's still gonna be toward the end of this Switch's life cycle and toward the beginning. I think that's just how I think it's just gonna end up happening, and that's just my opinion. I don't have any facts to back that up at all.
Do you think we got any chance of getting any other Metroid games on the Switch?
I mean, I think we're gonna get the trilogy, aren't we? I hope.
Yeah, I hope so.
I mean, if they're doing this, then at least give us the trilogy to let us have something Metroid on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right, well,
can I jump in on this?
Go ahead.
What I see happening is this is just speculation. What I see happening is, as you said, we're gonna get to fill out the time because this is look like an end of the timeline game. They're gonna do this nicely. Nintendo has increased their marketing campaign a lot when it comes to Nintendo Switch, and they've been strategically marketing their games. With that said, I see this as of end of cycle release. Mm-hmm. But in the meantime, I see by the end of this year or possibly early next year, they're going to release the trilogy. And then shortly after that, kind of like how they did Zelda, a remake of Zelda, they'll probably do like a remake of a Metroid game, of an old Metroid game, of a 2D Metroid game.
That'd be cool.
They'll probably do a remake of an old 2D Metroid game, push that, let that get more success. This way you're building more anticipation, and then the hype of Metroid doesn't die. More people want Metroid because you've been supporting the franchise in these cycles as it goes on.
I mean, we did get Metroid on the 3DS. That's the last remake thing.
And think about it this way. What about if they don't, necessarily go ahead and just say, you know what, we're not going to go ahead and just give you that on the 3DS. You know what? We're going to give you the same game. We'll give you the same game, but it'll be kind of like how they did Monster Hunter. It'll be a 2D port. It'll be a 2D port, upscale to Nintendo Switch, which was a great game, if you don't mind me saying so. And then if you look at it, if they go deeper than that, they say, you know what? We're not going to just limit it to this. We're going to go ahead and actually make a brand new Metroid IP. These are different ideas that they can do. Just my input.
I hope that comes to fruition. That's actually not bad.
Yeah, I was like, I cannot come back at that and be like, no, those all sound like great ideas. Jacob, what do you think, man?
I don't know. I missed the first part of it because I believe it'll come back.
Oh, we just talking about Metroid Prime. Do you think it's going to be a end of a cycle? Do you think it's going to be on the next generation console? Do you think it'll be done? When do you think it's coming, pretty much? And what are your thoughts on it being delayed, or seems to be delayed so far?
I mean, I personally wouldn't hire an art director if it's going well. So, originally when they delayed it, I thought 2021. I still think 2021. I think the Switch is going to have probably a 6 or 7 year life cycle. So it'll probably be one of the later games on the Switch. I think it'll still be on the Switch. They might put it on the Switch and the console.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it might be like a Breath of the Wild deal where it comes out both, where it's like, toward the end of it, here it comes, and then here's the new console that's coming on this one too.
I think we'll get the trilogy probably next year, and then get 4 holiday 2021.
Bet.
Yeah, that's about it.
All right, Zach, what you got?
Yeah, it's basically just the same thought.
I don't want to take returns.
Yeah, it's basically just the same thought as Avidan and them. It's like they could come out with a new IP, and like Chris said, it is possible that they probably do this as like an end of. Well, we could hope that it'll be like the end of the gen cycle for this one, and then they sort of put that on the next gen, or they could just put it on the new gen entirely and just boost out the power of it right off the get-go.
Jacob's riding solo over here because he cannot hear anybody. He can't hear Zach talk. He can't hear me. So Jacob's riding solo. So Jacob.
It sounds like the adults from Peanuts, from
Metroid Prime.
Oh man! All right, so
I'm like, it's so funny because it sounds like dead silence in my ear, and I'm looking at everybody. It's just like, what are we doing now? It's like awkward silence, looking at everybody. It's like,
all right. Well, I think that's enough for this topic, honestly. I mean, like I said, I'm actually not as disappointed in Metroid Prime now, though, because of the fact that of all the games that got announced this year. On top of that, when they dropped the bombshell about Breath of the Wild, and we heard about the news of that, and we're going to be talking about that later. But we might as well talk about it now. We can segue to it because, you know, the news that Breath of the Wild, the sequel to Breath of the Wild, was originally going to be DLC until Nintendo said, "Yo, this is too many ideas. This is too much. This is too big. We need to make this into a sequel," which now leads me to believe this game is going to be a lot closer than we thought it was. Because at first when they announced it, I was like, or they said it was in development, I was like, yo, this has got to be, 2021, somewhere. But we could potentially be closer, going by what we've been knowing, what we've been told now is the fact that it was DLC. They've been developing it ever since the beginning of, since we can always assume that's been developed since the launch of Breath of the Wild. So, what do you guys think? Do you guys still think this might be later, or do you think it's closer than we thought? Because after I heard that news, me being the Zelda fanboy that I am, I leapt for joy because I was like, yo, that's huge for me. That's why I want to talk about this, because I just love talking about Zelda, period. But, that's huge for me, the fact that this might be closer than we thought. What do you got?
I don't know if anyone else is talking. I was going to say something.
Go ahead.
Okay. So hopefully with BO3 and Metroid Prime 4, I think Nintendo's learned their lesson in terms of announcing games 2 or 3 years before they come out. So hopefully this means we're getting it next year, which would be dope. Because Torna, for Xenoblade 2, Torna is basically a whole new game. If they just, made the expand on a little bit more, it would have been a full $60 game. So I think it's awesome that they had so many ideas for the DLC, and hopefully I think everybody feels this way. Hopefully it's a little bit darker and
it's gonna be darker. It's gonna be darker. Someone correct me. Isn't Aonuma, didn't they work with Monolith, or aren't they somehow related, the people who developed Breath of the Wild? Aren't they somehow?
Yeah, they've been working on this since Game Awards of 2017, and prior before that.
Right. No, what I'm saying is the people isn't the people, didn't they work on Xenoblade Chronicles too, or aren't they some?
No.
That's what I was correct.
Monolith Soft worked on Xenoblade Chronicles too.
Okay, and Bad Laces Monolith has a dedicated Zelda. See, that's what I'm saying. So there are some. So I mean, we can expect this one to be huge. Nicholas, what's going on, man?
What's up?
What up, Nicholas?
What up? How you doing, man?
Hey, Nicholas.
Good. I hope.
Oh my god, I heard Loki.
Huh?
Jake has been having difficulties.
It is breathtaking when it happens, Jake.
The kitty's very cute. I can't hear Nicholas. I think the Discord was or Hangouts was all right, you can have Loki, but we're taking Nicholas.
But can he hear me?
Because everybody can hear you, but you can't.
Yes.
You can only hear select people. That's just weird.
Yeah.
That's just weird.
I think Hangouts was you don't like him, you don't like him.
I hear everybody.
Yeah, I hear everybody. I think Jake's just having
Same here.
Loud and clear for me.
It's called good
But then
internet
if it was doing that, I wouldn't hear Adrian, so I don't understand.
But Nicholas,
Are you at McDonald's, Jake?
What?
The
Are
Donald
you at McDonald's?
or McDonald's? What?
are you at McDonald's?
I'm at McDonald's. You at an animal shelter?
The comeback.
Burn.
Dr. Evil.
Anyway,
I'm at a Chinese restaurant.
That's racist.
wow.
Don't have that in here.
I'm at a okay. Anyway, Nicholas, since you're just now joining us, what do you think about this news about Breath of the Wild being DLC? Now it's going to be a full-blown game. What do you think about this?
I mean, it's cool and all, and I think it's next year holiday. They wouldn't announce it if it's not next year, in my opinion.
That's how I'm feeling. I hope we're right. I hope we're right. We were right about Banjo-Kazooie. We need to be right about this.
Okay, I also have something about that. I think Banjo-Kazooie is getting a remake on Switch and Xbox. I think they teased it in the Direct, so yeah.
Okay. Hot take there from Nicholas. Hot take. Anybody want to jump in on the Breath of the Wild topic? Because I've lost track of who went. So anybody want to jump in on this?
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I think we'll probably get it next year just because they announced it the way they did. They're not fans of just dropping stuff like that on us usually without having something. Aside from us having the remake of Link's Awakening, so they want to give us a little time to play that so that, the game sells well still. I haven't played Breath of the Wild yet. I'm borrowing it from a friend, and I will play it. I promise.
Ouch.
Nick.
Nick's dead. Nick's dead.
Bro, I'm
Nick's gone.
Now, you need to play that game ASAP. You will not regret it. That game
I will be playing it hopefully next week. I'm going to start streaming it.
Please. I will be there. I will be there because, the game is the GOAT. The game is the GOAT. Anybody else want to jump in on this?
I basically say that this is very likely going to come out next year. Honestly, if you look at the game engine, it's well polished. Like they did to give you a teaser of the story, and they have plans of putting this out, but they want everyone to focus on what's coming out in 2019 first. They got a whole list of games coming out in 2019. The last thing they need to do is distract everybody for the new Zelda game, especially when they have a Zelda game coming out within about almost 2 months now. So with that, I would say under 3 months, really, because it's the 20th just passed. So considering that there's a Zelda game that's not even out yet, what sense would it make to even put out a release date for this Zelda game? But you want to tease people so they would at least have enough interest to pick up this new game. That's just part of the marketing with that. And if you align that with the fact that you have, like you said, all these IPs you need to sell. You need to sell Mario Ultimate Alliance. You need to sell Luigi's Mansion, Fire Emblem, all these list of games that are coming out. And then next year, you still have games that are coming out next year. Even the games they even haven't mentioned to us yet. There's so many games that need to come out. So with all that considered, I want to say that this is going to be announced with a release date by E3 of next year. And it's going to be a lot sooner than we think. We're going to see a lot more gameplay. And they're going to say, expect to see to release this November 22nd or November 1st or December 1st of next year. That's what I see coming next year.
Hey, what now, Nicholas? Were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was thinking, what if they did a 4-year anniversary for the first one? And launch it in March 2021.
That's extremely possible.
And what if they package the games together?
That's extremely possible.
Honestly, that wouldn't surprise me.
But honestly, I want to turn this conversation into a different direction. What do you guys want to see improved in the game from the last game? Because we could all agree that this game ran on the Wii U engine. And this game was built upon the limitations of the Wii U and not the Switch. So what are some of the things that you would like to see different, both mechanic-wise and both hardware-wise? For me, I want to see this run at 60 frames per second. There's no reason why.
I don't know if it's going to run at that.
But it's not that in 1080p 60, not 900p.
No, I don't want that.
No, not 1080p 60, 1080p 30. My bad.
1080 30 is what I'll like.
That's what I meant to say. Thank you for that, Nicholas. 1080p 30 for that.
Yep.
And then afterwards, for actual mechanics, OJ's been on record on saying this. I'm saying the same thing on behind it. I want a way to actually repair weapons.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, they need
That's kind of why I didn't play it.
That's a definite.
There are weapons you can repair.
Especially the Master Sword.
And I do want a story, but I want the freedom of Breath of the Wild, but as well as a story. Let me give you guys a great example of games that have stories, but they give you amazing range of free roaming, and that's the Grand Theft Auto games. The Grand Theft Auto games give you so much range to free roam the area, but you still have a story, a massive story to it.
I mean, Breath of the Wild had a story.
But it's the story. The story was weak. You had to go through so many different things. And it was more exploration based than story based.
Right, but
it had a story. But that's why I said that's why I said more of a story, like more of a defined story.
I think this one will. I think the only reason why Breath of the Wild was made the way it was because of the fact they wanted it to be mysterious. The way they made it with the story, what happened 100 years ago, you don't know your Link, you don't remember, so why would you remember this? You know what I mean? So it's up to you to discover the story and what happened. I think this time around, because Link has his memory back, he has his memories back, Zelda's now with him, I feel like this will be more story than the last game. I feel you on that one. But I am confident in saying that this will have more story.
What if Zelda's a playable character?
I would love to see Zelda as a playable character, because it'd be cool to be able to, like, I've seen OJ's video and several other people, to see if she was actually a playable character where she could be like a drop in, drop out character where if you wanted to play this game maybe with somebody, you could play right there along with. You have one person Link, one person Zelda playing through the game, but also you could have parts of maybe if you're playing it solo, you have parts of the game where it's focused around each person, like parts where you have to be Zelda, or parts where you have
kind of like on GTA 5. Like, you have specific missions you can do with each one of the different characters.
Yeah, and as far as mechanic stuff, obviously, the majority of people are going to say, hey, repair our weapons, but also, like, when you look at the world was vast, and I can't wait to see what they change in the world. Coming into the next one, the dungeons, the shrines, stuff like that, the different places you went, the villages, see how much they can add to those things. It would be really, really cool, you know? And what's cool about this game, because I didn't mention it a minute ago because I was kind of like seeing what everybody else said, unlike Metroid, they actually showed in-game footage when they didn't just show like, oh, here's this game coming in, like a graphic, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
They're actually showing this, so it gives me a feeling that maybe they could push this as their holiday game, not this year, but for next year, so that they can have something big on the Switch to compete with what Xbox is doing, because Xbox got Halo and whatever PlayStation having coming out next holiday. They're big title.
Your player 2 has a great question. Do you think Link is too limited as a silent protagonist?
Yes,
dude.
Not at all.
If he had like a speaking role, it wouldn't sound like Link, because we all have our own voice for Link, like, in our head.
Yeah.
It would never match up. It'd be like
I think that's where Zelda's gonna come in this game.
Yeah.
Link.
I think Zelda's going to be she's going to be the one that's going to be speaking. I think both of them are going to be playable. I think both of them are going to be together.
Yeah.
I think you two are going to be together for the most part of this game. It's going to have some sort of not two-player mechanic, but like a two-person mechanic in the game.
See, I think there might be a two-player mechanic in some way.
Maybe.
See, personally,
that would be crazy.
What I would like to see, what I would really love to see is if that when you start the game, it says, do you want to start as Zelda or Link? And it's two different, not two separate stories, but the game plays a little bit differently for each one. So it'll be like two different playthroughs you'll need to do if you want to like 100% the game. So you play as Zelda and you have certain missions that you have to do that follow Zelda's story in the game. And you'll have Link's story where Link does his thing. And, you know, they'll come together at certain points, but you'll play like as each one.
So you saying something like how Nier Automata did it? Because Nier Automata had something similar to that for their two-player.
Still haven't played that game.
Two-playable.
Yeah, I still haven't played Nier either. I have no clue
I
what
haven't
you're talking about.
played that one either, so I couldn't tell you. Well, I just think that, like I said, when you start the game, it'll say you want to be Link or Zelda, and as you're playing, you know, there'll be the main storyline, but as you're going along, it'll be like, you know, Zelda does one set of missions, Link does another set of missions that they have to do, and like they come together at certain points, and you know, in dungeons they'll be together.
See,
you know,
but
maybe...
here's the thing. Go ahead.
I'll go for it.
Okay, so here's the thing. I think story-wise, that would actually hurt it in some ways. If you had to recombine like to each other every single time.
I can see that. I could agree with Nicholas on that.
Like, the exploration of Zelda Breath of the Wild is why I loved it. But if you have to come together like every couple hours or something in the game,
Well, maybe if they came together at dungeons.
Okay, but are they going to keep dungeon or shrines, or are they going to switch it to a traditional dungeon?
That's a great question.
Because I think they're going to go completely away from shrines, honestly.
I hope they do both, personally.
I want them. Korok seeds need to go. That's my only consideration.
What if they just put a bunch of shrines within a dungeon?
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like instead of like, because like the way the game was, you know, Breath of the Wild was, you had your shrines, and then you had your dungeons, which were the divine beasts. What if they just made the dungeons one big, huge group of shrines? You get what I'm saying? Like a bunch of puzzles in that way. That might be interesting.
That might be what they do.
Either way.
Yeah.
I had an idea, guys.
What you got?
I had to switch the.
You sound better.
And then your camera looks better.
Yeah, it does.
Oh yeah.
The question is, can you hear everybody?
I can, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Are we insinuating something here?
I was like, I'll switch to my phone.
There you go. There you go. So Jakin is back. So anybody have anything else to add before we move on to the next topic? Anybody have anything to add on Breath of the Wild 2?
Going off of what Nicholas said, there you could have something like that. Yes, if you do it the certain way that Loki was talking about, it could potentially hurt the gameplay. But if you have it somewhere like the characters are interchangeable and you don't have to separate them for certain quests, like have one character do a specific task during the quest and the other one is the one who's supposed to be mainly taking on the quest, have that sort of dynamic going, and it would probably help out that little issue. That's just what I'm thinking.
I think as long as they don't make her someone you just have to protect and drag around with you, then
Thank you. She does not need to be a crutch. She needs to be a playable character. She needs to be able to hold her own. I do not need to protect her. I don't need a Resident Evil 5 situation going on.
Exactly.
See,
I don't need a Resident Evil 5 situation going on.
I don't want a God of War situation. Like, I love that game, but his son was like a crutch.
Link walking around going, girl.
How did you give it to him?
I will say this though. I will advise for us not to get our hopes up so much on this being a 2-player game. I don't have it at all. I'll say like we should really keep this focus on being a 1-player game altogether. Simply because I feel as though we don't necessarily know. Like that was like literally 30.
Oh my god, it's Nicholas.
30.
I'm sorry. It's glorious. I had to interrupt you, Ahlgren. I'm so sorry.
I love the beard, man.
30. Beard game strong. I love it.
Yeah, it is. I love beard.
His beard rivals Adrian's.
All right. Let's calm down.
No.
There's only one ethic here, okay?
Y'all are gonna have to fight in the field. No way around it. I'm sorry. Adrian, it was nice meeting you.
Listen.
That is
Nick,
the beard of the wild.
What's that?
Nick, I'm gonna tell you this right now. On your show from now on, you need to have Jakin on here as the professional derailer. All the time.
That's what he does. Watch the game with his podcast. That is his job 100%.
Okay, good. We're on the same page. Cool.
Yes, professional derailer. Speaking of derailing, okay, we're gonna derail this subject. We're gonna move on.
I'm sorry.
So
okay,
we got 3 more. So we're not gonna talk EA yet. So let's just talk this one. So anybody in this panel gonna get the next Xbox? Let me just ask that question before we go in here. Anybody in this panel gonna get it?
I'm already down for that. 100%.
Potentially, depending on.
I want to play Halo. I want to play Halo, and that's all there is.
All right. Well,
I'll tell you no. That is fine.
This is then reportedly Xbox somewhere down the line. Whoever let's see here. Brad Sams, who's been on the ball on the intel of anything that's been going on with Xbox and their consoles. He came out with the whole. There's going to be 3 different tiers. Remember, we're going to have the Anaconda, Scarlet, and I can't remember, or not, Anaconda, Lockhart, and whatever. Well, apparently, according to him, the current plan for the next generation is just to focus on the high-powered console 100%, and they're going to scrap Lockhart. Now, anybody in this panel, does that matter to you? Were you just going to go ahead and get the Anaconda? Were you going to get the Lockhart, which was going to be the second tier, not as good hardware, but would still be pretty decent? Like, does this bother you? Like, because I know a lot of people in here were saying if it has backwards compatibility, they were going to get an Xbox, which come to find out, they're going to run their backwards compatibility through xCloud. So does this change anybody's opinion on whether they're going to get an Xbox or not?
It depends on the price, in my opinion.
Gotcha.
Nick, why should they pander to poor people? I don't
Does the Don have something to say?
Yep. Don's back.
Does Don have something to say about the Xbox Lockhart?
So I got to play xCloud when I was at E3.
Okay.
Lucky.
It was a lot of fun. It was on a phone. I don't know what brand, Android. Had the Xbox controller kind of connected through. It looked as smooth and clear as anything I've ever seen before. Now, they say it was all coming from their servers somewhere else, not on site. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I'm not that kind of media person, but it was great. So I would still get the Xbox and still do xCloud, for the backwards compatibility stuff.
Better than Stadia.
yeah. Your player two. Your player two talking about Stadia. xCloud is better than Stadia.
No.
Blasphemy, Josh. Blasphemy.
He's all about that Stadia. He's all about the Stadia, man.
Andrew's all about Stadia too, apparently.
Josh just wanted his Your Player 2 name. That's the only reason he did it.
So he just wanted to save the name.
Probably.
Like, branding. He said branding.
Yep.
But yeah, like this information. Well, one, it didn't bother me. Like here's my decision on, because you guys know me as the Xbox guy. I love Xbox, but my decision of which console I buy first will be decided on what are
exclusives?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are you a Halo fan, or?
I was a Halo fan. My opinion on Halo has shifted. Like after Halo 4, I was like, yo, this game is not the same. It's never going to be the same. I'm kind of done with it, but I still enjoyed playing Halo 5 and 4. It was just like I wasn't as like into it. Not a big Gears fan. Not a big Forza fan. For me, Xbox was all, in the beginning was BioWare. And now they're with EA, so like that's not like, you know what I mean? Like Jade Empire, Knights of the Old Republic, like Mass Effect, on top of Fable, like those were my games for Xbox. And then half of that got taken away when EA took BioWare, and then now they can't Fable. So what am I gonna play? Plus they haven't announced a Fable. Hopefully Playgrounds is working on some big RPG, but I don't know. And so for me, like this news about them not doing the Lockhart thing, like, I don't know. Do you think they have confidence in what they're doing, or do you think they said, you know what, that's just gonna be too much money, let's just go ahead and go with the big one? And how much is it gonna cost? Because you heard them talk about it, like,
Do you think they just thought that people were tired of getting multiple versions of consoles and
that
things
could be
like
very
that?
possible.
I could see that being a thing. Because
I mean, Xbox One went bananas, in my personal opinion, with all the different versions.
Xbox One, Xbox One Slim, Xbox One X, Xbox One Sad. But PlayStation kind of did the same thing. PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4 Slim, Pro.
Yeah.
Both consoles did the same thing.
Nick,
what's up, Jake?
Why would they release all the versions at launch? Why wouldn't they stagger the releases so that they can make more money over time?
Because it would confuse people. It would confuse people if they launched them all at once.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, every Xbox since the 360 has had new iterations throughout.
Yeah, the 360 had like the arcade, and then like whatever, I forget what they were all called.
The arcade, the regular one, the Elite, which were like different hard drive sizes.
Yep, different. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
They're probably going to release the regular one, and then in another 2 or 3 years they'll release the cheaper one for. They released the SAD for $250 when you can get a regular one for less than $250.
Right.
Yeah. I'm on the level of I don't need an Xbox One X. I will be fine with an S or whatever when I get one because I still don't have one. But
I still don't have one either. It's fine.
So,
I will tell you this
Well,
much.
personally, I think the reason. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Logan.
No, I was saying the reason why that they're doing just one is if you look at sales right now of the X and the S, obviously the S has sold like gangbusters, compared to the X.
Okay.
Because it's a premium system. So they realize that they're going to put out two different systems at the same time.
One's gonna bounce.
Most people are going to go for that cheaper system, and that more expensive is just going to go out there, and then it's going to go down in price. So they're saying to themselves, you know what? Let's cut our losses. Let's get rid of this cheaper system, and let's go for broke. Because you know what? Right now, the way Xbox is and Microsoft, they're doing better as a third-party, software company than a console manufacturer. Although they're not doing bad as a console manufacturer, but they're not in first place. And if you're not really in first place, unless you're like Nintendo, who has their own IPs to back it up, they need something. That's why they bought all these companies. So they realize they need to get a library. They need to do what they're doing, and they need that backwards compatibility. So I think that the best thing they can do is go for this better system, and just put that out there and say, listen, this is what it is. If you want to get on Xbox, if you want Halo, if you want this, if you want that from these other studios, you got to buy the better system, and that's going to be it. And end of story. And that's it. And maybe during Black Friday it'll come down a little bit, but that's it. Because look, they put out the SAD, and what they do, they put it out for $250.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't even give it to. Everyone said, "Oh, 200 is going to be where they should put it."
No,
they didn't put it 200. They put it 250 because they go, "Oh, the S retails at 250." Yeah, it retails at 250, but you could buy that thing for 200 with the game at Amazon at the moment they were selling the SAD. So they're obviously, they know this, but listen, they know they got you by whatever they could do with it. That's my opinion on that.
That's a great point, because I never thought about the numbers of how many X's were sold versus S and how those numbers are still going. Like, I never really thought about that, but that's a great point, because I know that I have an X, like I have one sitting right here, currently collecting dust a little bit, but I currently have one right now, and I use it. I enjoy it. I love the fact that it's the power that it has, and the how it runs the games and the 4K and all that stuff. I love it. I absolutely do love it. But that's a great point, that most people out there are not. Most gamers out there aren't like me, who I want that power. They just want something that works, and they can play their games and play the 2Ks.
We want
the Call of Duty, the Madden.
The exclusives is what really does a console for the most part.
Right, and that's what I'm saying.
I would say it's a marriage between everything. With everything you guys have said, just like Nick said, the exclusive does it with the marriage of a great and strong first party,
and the price, and the price
too. But you know what? I would even debate to say the price could be justified if it could deliver the value as expected.
Yes,
if it delivered the value as expected by saying you're the most powerful console, giving you killer and stellar first-party games, by giving you also all third-party games at the best for fidelity. Listen, I'm gonna say it right now. I'm sorry, Sony fans, you're not seeing the Xbox One X in power. It beats you across the head 10 times.
Oh yeah, it does. I won't deny it. I have a Pro. X is better.
You know what, Avidan? That's something you said, though. It depends on how they package it. If they package the Scarlet with Cloud, with xCloud, with Game Pass, they might have something on their hands as far as, because Game Pass is a great value, and Xbox and PC with Game Pass Ultimate.
But here's the thing: marketing is all about timing. Marketing is about timing, and marketing is about proper packaging, proper wording. It's so many things you got to do with proper everything. Let's take the Wii U for instance. And you guys know I love the Wii U, but let's be totally objective here. If the Wii U actually took the time to name itself better and price itself better in the market and position the value of what we can do, and take it like this: we says this is our new next gen console. And with this console, you will now be able to play better games at full HD fidelity, and also, guess what? When you want to go ahead and sit back on your couch and play this on in front of your TV and let somebody else watch your TV, you can do that too. And they packaged it like that, and then use more up-to-date hardware, just a step below the PS4 and the Xbox One at the time, they would have been in a much better position.
Yeah,
and
but they weren't.
They would have sold 3 times as more. I discussed this over the weekend. I might post part of this. I discussed this with Sincere and Chips over the weekend, and I say all the time that N64 was what humbled Nintendo, because that's when they fell back tremendously. Now, if you look at Xbox in the same light, I feel like the Xbox One is their N64. This is the one console where they say, you know what, we messed up, but I feel as though their bounce back is going to be much better than Nintendo's. They're not going to be 2 generations behind bouncing back. They're going to say, no, we need to get more power. We need to get more studios, which they have been, and they need to package this better. The first party games they've been having have been subpar, to say
mediocre, to say the
Gears 5 should have been the highlight of that entire conference. That should have been the deal breaker, because that's coming out this year. That's coming out in September. That should have been the deal breaker. That should have been like, you could do this. They should have spent more time advertising this than Dragon Ball that's coming out next year. All these other things that are coming out. It's like, okay.
And most of them are third party too.
Exactly.
Yeah. Not many first party games on Xbox.
And that's the thing. If you're going to promote something like Play This Anywhere, that's going to take away from the power of you being the most powerful in the market now. Because now, hey, you can play these games anywhere. Not everyone's going to have a cell phone that could run the capacity of what I'm blessed to have a cell phone that is up to date in 2019 standards. I have a Samsung S10. That phone is ridiculous when it comes to running games. But there are people out there who have phones that are 2, 3, 4 generations behind. What about those people? Is xCloud gonna run well for these people? And that's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about so many different things down the line.
I feel, if I cut in, I feel like from what I played that it would tax the heck out of a phone that's more than 2 years old upon generation.
You don't mind me asking, what type of device, what type of phone were you playing?
It looked like it was on a Samsung Edge to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Edge, so probably like an S9, right?
Yep.
Yeah, probably.
There you go. I have an S10, so my phone. If you guys know specs, my phone has 8 gigs of RAM. For those you know, phone that's super fast. That's like super. Like if your phone does not have anything above 4 gigs of RAM,
you're not going to be able to do it. No way.
Whole experience of this. So that's where this whole xCloud, this whole combination, it's good in theory, but how many people are going to really benefit from it? And then if you go deeper than that, I look at it as them taking away go back to the topic at hand, taking away Lockhart and focusing on Scarlet. I feel it's a brilliant idea, because as Loki mentioned, when you put out so many iterations of your consoles in one console lifeline, you take away the power and the focus of your console. Focus on one thing. Focus on what people need to buy, because when there's so many options, now people are like, well, which one do I buy? Which one's the better one? When you say this is what we have, this is the value that we have. Let me give you an example. The Nintendo Switch is $300. And a lot of people are arguing, saying, that's not worth $300. That's not worth $300. But this thing is selling more than 15 million units every single year.
It's worth $300.
So
if you're a gamer, it's worth it.
It's all about the marketing. And I feel, Phil Spencer, he's a great speaker, which he does. He does great speeches, but their marketing team needs to step up.
It's trash, honestly, to say they didn't even promote Crackdown 3 before.
I mean, we know why now. We know why now after it came out. We know why now after it came out. Like, we knew why they weren't advertising that. Josh has a good point real quick, though. He goes, they keep hoovering up, they keep vacuuming up studios. The marketplace is going to catch an avalanche of Xbox exclusives. Here's my deal. Here's what I say: if they have the exclusives and they're all in Game Pass, and next year they come out with, hey, this is all the exclusives that were coming out this year at E3. They're in Game Pass. Do you think that's a deal? Do you think that's a sale point for you guys?
Well, yeah, it'd be a sell point for me.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
if you can, I say my
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Chris.
Okay, because I just did want to let y'all give a quick. Well, because I want to touch on the Game Pass part of it, but also on the Lockhart part of it. Because starting off as a Lockhart, if you look at it compared to the Xbox One thing, people didn't all jump into the Xbox One X because just a year before they had got the, I think it was like a year or a couple before they got the Xbox One S, which is basically taking everything that the Xbox One had, compacting it into a smaller system and say, hey, we can get this into a smaller system and not look like a big old VCR anymore, even though I still do have the VCR version of the Xbox One. They did that, and they didn't even have to have the traditional power to it. You know, they had just one cord, bam. They didn't have the big brick that they always had. And then they did the same thing with the X, and it's like, okay, cool, the X is cool, but I have something that can run all the stuff. Yeah, that may not be that fidelity of the X, but hey, it's still on par as a good system. So the next generation of Xbox, they need to sit there and be like, okay, we got all these IPs. Next year at E3, we need to show Nintendo and PlayStation, everybody here. This is what we're working on with them. All the ones that they can show something that's coming out within the next year or two, say, bam, we got a stellar lineup that the next 2 years of this console, the Scarlet, it's going to be buster. It's going to be awesome. You know, you're not just going to sit there and give you some stuff like this. Like next year, I hope they don't do Halo like they did Gears. Gears, I'm going to get it and play it and all that, but they need to show, because Halo is their biggest IP ever. You know, they need to actually get in that game and say, here's what the multiplayer is going to be. Here's where the story is going to go, and actually show somebody playing Master Chief, going through the world and showing what he's actually going to be doing, what new mechanics you're adding to it, because you're going to be trying to sell people in this. Plus, adding in Game Pass, having all their top first-party titles coming on Game Pass, which for such a cheap, only 10 to $15 a month, it's like that's the best deal in gaming. And you need to sit there and keep doing that and keep putting titles in there, because you want to sit there and say, we give you this console, but you can buy this console for $400, $500, and you only have to pay $10, $15 more, and you get over 200 games right there. Then people are gonna be like, well, that's a lot of better value than what PlayStation is giving me, than what Nintendo's giving me. So I can actually jump into this console life. But they need to make sure that they do this right, because they need to make sure from a hardware thing to the IPs, it's got to be good across the board, because this generation, they messed up at the beginning. But at the beginning of this generation, they basically did the same thing that PlayStation did the previous generation. They messed up. PlayStation messed up and said, we can't do this again. Xbox messed up, and now they know they can't do that again. But we've seen that with everybody. Even when Sega's had it happen, Nintendo's had it happen, everybody that's ever made a console generation.
Sega more than had it happen.
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah, but I'm just referencing it real quick. And it's like,
I get
you see that, and it's like, okay, Xbox, if you still want to stay competitive in the market, and you don't want to, and you want to be looked at as the biggest third party, because they said that, Phil was saying that, you know, but at the same time, Phil was also muttering, oh, well, I miss having Activision and PlayStation here. It's like, okay, you miss them. Because you want to get your games on there, because there was like, oh, there's rumors going around, oh, they wanted to put Halo on the PlayStation. I'd be like,
it doesn't surprise me,
you know,
at all, though.
and I was like, Phil, if you ever did that, I would sit there and laugh at Xbox and be like, no, that's one, you need to have your exclusives, because you don't have your exclusives. Yeah, you can play them on a computer, but you need to have exclusives that are on that console to make people go buy that hardware. Because somebody's not gonna sit there and say, hey, if I can play this on my computer, I can play my Switch and play that game on my computer. Somebody like Avidan, he sits there and be like, you know what, I can play all that Halo with you, I can play that Gears with you. I got a good enough computer that can play all those games, while you have to go out and get that console. You may not have a computer. So I really, as a big Xbox fan, Halo being my favorite franchise of all time, I hope that they do this right. I do not want to see them mess up.
Has the
Great
Halo
point, Chris.
Master Chief thing came out on PC yet?
Get ready to.
It's gonna be coming out in parts with.
It's in beta parts.
It's weird how they're doing it, but it's gonna be Reach 5, 4, and then go down.
Okay, I just have a nice gaming laptop, and I thought maybe I'd get it on here instead of going and investing in an Xbox right now.
That might be the way to go. You're gonna get your favorite game, Reach.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
I'm gonna say this, and this is something that I feel like the power war between Xbox and PlayStation is really gonna come to head.
Yes.
You know why Google is so threatening to them? It's because they're not really afraid of the mobile aspect. They're afraid of the PC gamers.
Yes.
See, the more Xbox and the more PlayStation try to go into this power war, their consoles are going to become more and more expensive. And guess what? There are budget ways where you can make a budget laptop that could run at high fidelity over these consoles, and you can spend less money on a budget PC, but it will run much better than your PlayStation and your Xbox.
But here's the thing. Go ahead, Chris. No, go ahead, Chris. You go first.
The thing about what Avidan's saying is the thing about budget PCs being able to run these titles. What some people are going to do is with the way the game is going and the prices on these consoles aren't done right, and the selling of them is not done right. Somebody can say, I can get my PC, and you know what? If I want to play the game better, down the 6 months down the road after I bought that PC, I can go buy me some more hard drive, or go buy me something the latest graphics card and all that, and just put it in there. Hey, and I'm on par with what Avidan's doing. Or your player too is a big PC, but I got this little PC that's doing on par with what they're doing, because all I had to do was buy these little things, and it cost me less money than going out there and buying that console.
See, here's my thing. Do people still care about physical games enough where streaming actually isn't going to take over for a little while?
I think they do.
I do.
Because streaming is cool and all that, and obviously at E3, whenever Adrian and all these other people were they're experiencing it, and they are seeing Stadia and they are seeing xCloud, it's cool, but that's a place that they knew that they need to heighten it because they want to make sure it's the best. But then you got somebody who live out in the country, or maybe even lives in a big city, but is it all going to be good around the whole big city, And that's the thing. But the thing that I know Xbox has over Google Stadia, because Google Stadia, if you look at it, has a bunch of games that people already have basically, is that Xbox says, hey, we got Game Pass, and we got all these titles that you can get without having to do all this other stuff that Stadia is making you jump through all these hoops.
Stadia is like, there was an article saying that video gaming consoles were niche. Stadia is going to be super niche, because not only do you need to have great internet, you need to not have to worry about data caps. And that's why streaming, I don't think, is going to take over for a while, because the country's internet infrastructure is not even close to ready to be able.
Could you imagine like 5,000 people jumping on Stadia or more at like one time? With our infrastructure, like it's gonna crash day one.
I mean, YouTube keeps crashing, so
right.
And I don't know.
Stadia's gonna crash.
And I don't know if I read this right or saw. I don't know if I saw on Twitter or was somewhere on Facebook. But whenever they talked about Google Stadia, didn't they say they were gonna optimize it for like those Google Play phones or whatever?
Yeah.
For those phones, but then xCloud and Phil Spencer said we're going to optimize it for Android first, and then we're going to go optimize it for Apple next to make sure that you can play it on whatever phone you have.
No, Google is staying just till Pixel 3 right now.
So it's like, hey, most people can get xCloud, but not everybody can get Stadia. So that's going to be a point. Stadia, like we got to sit there and work with Samsung and AT&T and get all these other people on all those phones, because they're hurting ourselves doing that.
But anyway, I want to say this. I know Nick wants to move on to the next topic, so I'm
trying to slip in here.
Go ahead. Do your thing, boss.
No, go ahead. You say what you got, and then we go on to the next topic.
All right. I just want to say that, honestly, when it comes down to all these, phones and data plans, the one thing that I do want to say is Phil Spencer got his working off him, but the reason why City's going to just lose automatically is because they charge you the price for games you got to rent. That's all.
Yeah. Because you're not actually owning the games when you're streaming them.
Right. You don't own those games.
Well, you don't own the games on Game Pass.
Right, but that's different because you're paying a monthly subscription.
You pay a monthly
You
pay a subscription fee, and you pay for the price of the
game. Right, which is still $60. So you're renting a full price game, but not actually owning it.
And the price you're paying for a system, you're paying for Google Stadia's subscription service. So it's the same thing no matter what. You're better off with a console.
But
because at least with a console, it's all put together.
I say streaming Xbox exclusives is like not streaming, but Game Pass is perfect because it's not like you're going to want to keep the games for a long period of time. I don't think any of us are going to be playing Outer Worlds this time next year.
Some people might.
They might.
No, I agree with that statement though. These single player games though, like, because Jake makes a great point, because you buy these single player games and then once you beat them, you don't pick them back up, you know, until maybe one day you're like, yo, I want to play this game again. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot of replay value in these single player games. Maybe that's where Xbox Game Pass is going to come through, where they're going to have a lot of single player games in there that you can just play and then, like Jake said, just be done, because, you know, it's going to save you a lot of money and spending money. I mean, there's look at Game Pass now. There's a lot of single player games in there. Metro Exodus, Outer Worlds is going to be in there. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I don't feel like spending $60 on Shadow of the Tomb Raider or Metro Exodus, but now I don't have to. You know what I mean? And so that's why I feel like Game Pass will be huge, is in that way. And like I said, if they can add first party games to that, a lot of them, they have something on. You know, they have a monster. Pretty much is what I'm trying to say.
I think Game Pass is going to be a huge factor, in because with the whole console power war, I mean, there's only so much you can do on TVs nowadays, 4K TVs. Once you max out their capabilities, where do you have to go? Sure, there's 8K TVs, but those are not nearly as prevalent as 1080p TVs that people have more 1080p's out there than people have 8K, with 4K being in the middle. So once you get past that, then I think it comes down to convenience. And someone that streams video games, why wouldn't you want to be able to get new games day one, download them, and not have to pay $60 for a game that you're not going to play in a month?
And that's where the value of Game Pass, I feel, lies. So moving on to the next topic. Next topic. So let me just do this, because I kind of want, these are two kind of separate, but they're kind of the same. So let's just talk about this. We're gonna talk about these two companies that right now that are kind of getting on my nerves. So EA,
2K is trash.
We're gonna talk both of them right now, bro. So EA was talking about their loot boxes. They have a quote that says they're not loot boxes. They are surprise mechanics, and they are
garbage,
ethical. And I'm pretty sure they said that. In court. And I'm pretty sure they said that in court because, you know, they were trying to come up with some spiel. But let's be real. No. So let me tie this into both these companies and how you think that how business practices like this are going to pretty much are bad for gaming. And I just want to get you guys this. But NBA 2K, if you guys don't remember during E3, because I remember everybody was telling me, yo, NBA 2K is now $3.99 right now. You can get NBA 2K for like $2, $3 right now in the eShop, Nintendo eShop, Xbox, PlayStation. Like you could get it wherever for really cheap. We'll come turn around, or then a week later after they get all their sales from it. Now all of a sudden NBA 2K has unskippable ads in their game. So you get online and you're trying to play a game, and what happens is because if you guys haven't played 2K, there's a little loading wheel in the bottom, was the left or right hand corner, and it gives you percentage of how it goes up. And people are saying that during these commercials now, when it hits 99, it does not come off 99 until that said commercial is over with. So,
what?
Yes.
Yeah.
They said they're not skipped.
And you can't skip it. And you can't skip it. So they are non-skippable ads.
This has happened in other games though too. Like Street Fighter 5. Street Fighter 5 has had ads in it.
Really?
But full-blown TV commercials for TV shows and stuff?
Okay, TV shows now.
But I feel like, why would a company sit there and you want somebody to play your game and enjoy your game?
Nope,
you sit there and put these ads in there and make them, we're not, you put it in there, you can't skip this ad because we want to try to sell this other product to you. It's like, I'm not worried about that product. I'm worried about what I paid for, which is the game, not that. If I want to see an ad, I'll go watch TV. It gives me commercials every couple minutes there, you know?
To me, just hearing this by itself, honestly, I smell like doom. I smell a
doom and gloom.
Doom and gloom.
I smell like a company is desperate and they're looking for ways to really, exhaust all their options to make money because
it's 2K. What do you expect from them at this point?
What other games do they make besides that and WWE?
They don't. They
don't. They have published. They publish. No, they publish.
Well, they publish a lot more than they make.
Red Dead they publish because that's Rockstar. That's Rockstar. Yep.
All Take-Two. But
do you know how much EA made on loot boxes?
No, they're not loot boxes though. They're surprise mechanics.
In Ultimate Team alone, they made like FIFA Ultimate Team, not Madden Ultimate Team, just FIFA Ultimate Team.
Yeah, just
alone.
FIFA.
Like,
they made about a third of their annual income, I think.
Yes.
They made $800 million on it.
Mm-hmm.
$800 million. This is a lot of money.
I have a question now. If they're calling it surprise mechanics, is Star Wars going to have surprise mechanics?
Better not.
They said it wasn't, but
they just said no loot boxes.
They said no loot boxes.
They're not classifying it as loot boxes though.
Now surprise mechanics. Nick's got a great point. He's got a great point. He's got a great point. The surprise mechanics.
Because if there are surprise mechanics, I'm gone.
But we have a special guest that just popped up out of nowhere.
Oh look, the Donald's back.
We have the Don here in the chat himself. Don, what do you have for it?
Have the floor, Don.
All right, guys. First of all, you're welcome. I'm here. All right, and I just want to say, what a great job by 2K. All right, teaching people what you get when you buy games brand new. All right, that's what you get. Commercials, advertisements. They're not bringing you the best. All right, they're bringing movies about crack, cocaine, everything you can think of. All right. Don't ever buy games new. They'll get you every time. GameStop, I'm looking at you. Surprise mechanics. Surprise. Your money's all gone. Sorry. Don't know what to tell you. Maybe you shouldn't leave your children alone with babysitters with the debit card sitting on the table. Never think of that.
You need to do more.
All right, guys. I gotta go. I got a real nice mani-pedi scheduled.
oh my god.
Whose money are you using?
Oh my god.
And you heard
I'm gonna hand the reins back over to the piece of crap that runs my channel. So, peace out.
Thank you. So the Don has spoken. Don't leave the debit card on the table, and don't buy games brand new. And don't go to GameStop.
Don't go to GameStop.
So there you go.
Use Walmart. They always discount them at 20% off now. Day one.
For real. Speaking of Walmart, all the Nintendo games are discounted at Walmart.
All the PlayStation and Xbox.
Oh.
But does anybody like want to add to either one of these? EA or 2K? Go at it.
I got something to go into this actually.
Well, you can go ahead, Logan.
You know, you got to understand this. Like I said, they made $800 million just on the Ultimate FIFA boxes. So I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with the federal government or the state government or any type of government. You do not want the government regulating video games.
No.
The people who vote on these things do not play video games and couldn't care less if video games were banned permanently. As gamers, we want to hope EA fools the government into this surprise mechanic thing they're saying and gets them to stop regulating. Because if we all don't like loot boxes, then simple solution, just don't buy them. That's it.
Yeah.
Like I said, EA made
They're not
$800
gonna
million
get rid of
on
gaming
them.
altogether. Though.
So someone obviously likes these loot boxes because
They won't get
$800
rid of
million
gaming
was
altogether.
sold on these things.
Well,
no. If the government starts regulating gaming, I mean, last time I don't know if you guys heard about this. I don't know how political you want to get here, but last time there was a school shooting and the president sat down to talk with people about it. People came to the president and said, Do you know that video games are violent and are causing these school shootings?
true.
And do you know what the
That's
president said
trash.
on
That's
live-
trash. That's fake news.
But
That's true.
but
That happened last
I
year.
know this is trash.
That's my
But
line.
do you know what the
Shut up,
president said
Nicholas.
on live TV? The president said, "Well, I look at what my son plays and it's very violent and I don't like what I see, so we have to look into this." So you got to understand that what you're having is most of these people who are politicians, they don't understand video games and they see it like most old people see things, and whenever they see anything that young people are doing, they don't like it and they want to stop it. It's like the 80s when you had Ronald Reagan and he was trying to stop people from dancing, and it caused the movie Flashdance to be made.
I thought it was Footloose.
Oh gosh.
I'm not that old, so.
The birth of Kevin Bacon, glorious.
Anybody
Thank
else?
God for Ronald Reagan. And thank God for Kevin Bacon.
But that's what I'm saying, man. You got to be careful of these politicians. Once you get them involved, you don't know what they're going to do.
True, I do. We have
Okay, that is a fair point.
We have a senator here in my state that is trying to do a lot of stuff. So I agree with that, Loki. I do agree 100%.
I agree with what Loki's.
Go ahead, Chris.
I don't want to butt in, but I agree with what Loki says, because you got to look at EA. They're getting messed around with in the States about that. But a lot of the stuff, especially over there in Europe, because FIFA sells way better over there than it does here.
Mm-hmm.
And you think about this, they're trying to put the words out there, surprise mechanic, because they still want to, because they're trying to find any kind of loophole that they can still put those in there somehow to make money over there, because they're making money hand over fist. You think they make a lot of money from us people living here in the United States?
Europe, they make a lot more.
Europe, they're buying those games and playing them for years and years on end. People putting gangbuster amount of money in there, and it's like, okay, if you call it a surprise mechanic, what exactly does EA classify that surprise mechanic as? And it's like, because that's what I really want to know, because I saw it, but I never really got to jump into the details. And, I'm learning more about it from what y'all are saying, but I'm just worried about what's EA saying about this. And are they just going to sit there, we won't call it a loot box anymore, we'll call it a surprise mechanic. Well, that surprise mechanic's taking my money. That's not right. I paid $60. I didn't know I was paying, this because I want this mechanic in the game. And it's like, you're just going to hide them behind this. And then to segue also into the 2K thing, and then my point's going to be done, is that I don't want 2K to sit there and put these ads in my game, because I don't want them to fall into the same loophole as EA is or Activision is, where a lot of people are just saying no to their games and turning their head in another place.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah, I see that.
The line that needs to be drawn, I think the reason that it's so controversial is the fact that it promotes underage gambling, because children are getting a hold of these bright lights and music playing when they're buying Madden packs and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't be such a big deal if there was regulated more and there was less of a it's almost like it's taking advantage of people's addictive personalities.
That's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bro, they have people that come in. They have, most of these companies have, they hire what are they psychiatrists, psychologists that are there to let them know, how do we make these more appealing, more addicting, how do we get to stimulate the brain so we can make more money. That is a proven fact that they have those people in there. So so I mean that's 100% factual.
It's all about risk adverse versus risk, like do you actually like risk, or are you completely against it? And they have to look at the market for both cases.
They just want money, man. Here's my deal. They just want money. And in the case of 2K, okay, whatever, you put ads in your games, but people paid $60 for this. It's not a free-to-play game. That's what bothers me.
Okay, yeah,
that's bad. In the case of EA, how much do you want to push this thing? I get that you want money, but like Loki just said, you're on the verge of ruining a lot of things for a lot of people moving forward if regulation gets involved here. You know what I mean? If the government gets involved and starts regulating all these things about gaming, You know how harder it is for people to produce games and develop games, and how hands-on the government's going to be? I don't like that.
See, I don't think they'll
Somebody
ever
just
get that
lit up
kind of
fireworks.
hands-on that people think. That's the thing. Because they have enough more important things to worry about than one tiny aspect of an economy.
I don't know about that. Our government likes to get into lots of places they don't need to be.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's also yes,
like
that's
my
also true.
pocket.
Yes, that is very true.
Jason, like
you referenced this back
I'm
in the
just
80s,
speaking
they
the
got
truth.
I completely agree with you.
But like I say, like I just don't like that, and I hate the fact that greed is pushing that. Like, and it's obviously greed because that's like you said, that's like their big money maker. That's how they make most of their money. Loki just hit you with the facts of what, $800 million.
That's insane.
That's an insane amount of money in just transactions in one game. That's not multiple. That's one game. FIFA. So like, obviously money is the issue here. Obviously they don't want to miss on that revenue stream, but like, how greedy do you have to be? Keep pushing this, and if the government does get involved, like, it's gonna ruin it for everybody. That's all I'm gonna say. Avidan, what you got? Because you've been trying to say something tonight.
No, it wasn't. I'm just chilling.
Chilling.
I'm just chilling because you know what? I'm just chilling because EA is trash. That's not
EA and Take-Two are trash. Sorry.
Yeah, they both of them are trash.
Oh, and don't forget Activision.
Yeah, Activision too.
And add Ubisoft to that list as well.
Oh yeah, Ubisoft now too.
Ubisoft too.
I am not supporting their games for a little while.
Let me ask you. It's like for me,
and
after the good weekend I have, what do I look like getting mad at these companies who aren't paying me? See,
I feel you on that. It's sleazy though. But
we're paying them though. So
it's sleazy, but business is sleazy sometimes, and they're at that stage where they're revealing that they don't care about their consumers. They care more about their bottom line, and that's a lot of companies. They're just being more exposed about it. 95% of the companies you see care more about their bottom line. In fact, almost every company cares more about their bottom line. It's just that there are more companies that will use the humanic that's even a word, aspect to show that they do care, and some may genuinely do. But in most cases, I'm gonna just really say that I'm not gonna expect the most from like a EA. EA has shown that they will do whatever they can
to make money.
Mass Effect and Andromeda. Look what happened with that. You
leave it alone.
Yeah, don't
leave them alone.
Don't talk about that game ever,
please.
It's not. Do you want to talk about Overwatch? We'll talk about that.
No, we're not doing that either.
We can talk about that too, but you guys see where I'm going with how these companies treat their IPs. They treat these companies. They treat like the companies and the franchises that can actually do good. Instead of actually listening to their fans, I'm not even gonna say their fans. Instead of actually listening to their consumers and seeing what can actually work and actually doing some real studies and say, all right, what do they want and how can we go? They lost the essence of building a proper business. They've gotten into how can we increase our bottom line, and instead of how can we provide better customer service. And go ahead.
No, you go finish.
And because they're not providing the best customer service experience, they aren't winning. You know why Nintendo is on top, and Nintendo's been on top for the longest time? Because their marketing campaign, since Reggie's been there, has been very similar to how hotels have their marketing campaign, and that is provide the best guest experience. That is the foundation of any successful hotel. Provide the best guest experience. Now, you look at Nintendo. What has Nintendo been talking about? We want to provide the best consumer experience.
That's why they also delayed Animal Crossing.
Exactly.
They want to help developers have a nice family balance life.
Exactly. And because of that, and what happened when and if you guys remember a few podcasts ago, I've said that this is one when I think BG was on there, and you guys was like saying like, all these companies have this, all companies are like this. And I do agree to an extent, but we saw from this aspect how many people saluted Nintendo on doing that. So the consumers do care that these companies show they have compassion for their workers. Like, we will give you the pass to say, okay, delay the game if you want to make sure your workers are working at their best and your workers are happy. Because a happy worker gives the best consumer the best experience. Period. If you're happy in your workplace, I could say this as somebody who works in many jobs. When I'm happy at my workplace, I provide up and beyond the experience.
Yep. That's 100%.
When I'm not happy, when I'm stressed, when I'm like tired out, when I feel like I'm being stretched way too thin, and most of all, when I feel like I'm not appreciated, my progress drops all the way down. Now that's not. I'm not going to say that's right for everyone. You know, I would say sometimes you always put in, but it's natural for people to not want to work at the best of their ability if they don't feel appreciated.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. Workers in other companies are taking notice of how Nintendo is treating the Animal Crossing employees, and they're going to hear that, and that's going to get more people to want to work for Nintendo and think of that as their dream job. Because every time the other places treat them like crap and treat them and tell them you got to work another 300-hour week, they're going to sit there and say, you know what? I got to get myself over to Nintendo. And that's going to get better talent over Nintendo and better games. And in the long run, that's going to be good for us.
See, and the other thing is, I appreciate when companies like Square or Sega / Atlas do these surveys, but what really comes about the surveys?
Yeah, and I'll take this to it even sums up to the stuff we talked about in the beginning. Xbox, just to put this out there, because what Avidan said and what y'all said it made me think. You know, Xbox is sitting there taking a page. If you look at Xbox, they're starting to take a page out of both PlayStation and Nintendo's playbook.
PlayStation is also taking Nintendo's
because you look at how Xbox is doing. They're sitting there trying to work more on their titles, give their developers better this, better that, and be stuff like this, and it's like more consumer friendly. They're like, okay, well, we're really nice with Nintendo. We see what Nintendo's doing to be nice to the consumers. Why don't we start being that way? Because like your player too, he was talking about how whenever he was at E3, how Xbox this year had one of the nicest employees and people that he met at the whole conference. He said these people were nice. They were handshaking people, talking to these people, all this stuff. And I'm like, they're trying to take a playbook out of other people to make it better experience for everybody. Because they don't want to be looked at as like some of these developers, these big things, and they want to be like, oh, we don't want that like EA, or we don't want that Activision to look at that those companies are getting from the bad. We want to look at nicer, so we can have more longevity.
Well, here's the thing, is that you guys, I respect what y'all are saying, but can you really say that Nintendo cares about the consumer so much when the online is still such trash?
Or they never drop their prices.
They're honeypotting us.
I never said they care about the consumer. I
they
said
are
they care about the worker.
See,
honeypotting us.
But here's the thing. It's going to update in September when everyone has to re-up their membership.
I disagree, because they're giving away a year free with Mario Maker for $10 extra.
That doesn't matter. They're gonna have some kind of, you have to do an upkeep, like an extra charge on top of that for the next thing.
People will be pissed.
All I'm saying is we need Game Boy Advanced games and some GameCube stuff on the darn.
Spend an extra $20 a month.
Dude,
I'll pay more money.
Exactly, I will pay more money for that.
I'll pay more money for
agreement for that. I'll
pay more money.
Something, but regardless.
If they do add like GameCube games in that to the Switch, that would basically just up the popularity of it so much, because it's like you've got those splinters where you have the GameCube controllers, and anybody who was a GameCube fan at the time would be like, if I could get all these games on this system, I wouldn't have to worry about going and looking and paying for a GameCube system. I could just go straight on here, download one of my favorite GameCube games, and just play it on the go.
Amen. That's one of the big.
So you're talking virtual
Xbox,
consoles,
because you think backwards compatibility.
What if they actually bring that back?
They're never bringing virtual console back. They're not bringing it back. We're stuck with Nintendo Switch Online.
What if they actually do bring it back though? They said they wanted to improve it, and that's one way of improving it.
No. They're gonna give us.
This is what they're doing with the volleyball. There. Hey, get the game.
I don't know if I heard it from Avidan. If Avidan said it, but someone said something. They made a very good point. They said that because the fact that we don't have virtual console, that's why the indie games are doing so well on Switch.
Yes.
Because if we had virtual console, you'd be spending your money on the same thing you just spent on for the NES games that you get for free. Is Mario 1, 2, and 3. Castlevania, Metroid, Legend of Zelda, the usual stuff that you're spending like $5 on, and that's silly. Personally, what I think that Nintendo and all the video game companies should start doing is that all the stuff that you buy digital on one platform, when they get the next platform, that should also be backwards compatible. So like my PS3 games should be backwards compatible on the PS4, so that way I wouldn't have to rebuy those again and remasters.
Here's the deal. We're not going to get virtual console, and here's why. With this Nintendo Switch Online, and the way they're doing this with the NES games, and if they find out people will want to pay more money to get other consoles on the NSO, they would much rather take your subscription of that payment per month than take one payment for an NES game or you know what I mean? They would much rather take your money. That's why I'm saying virtual console's not.
What if they did a Game Pass kind of thing?
That's what I'm saying. They much rather do that than take your one-time payment for however much dollars to get that 64 game. They much rather give you a bunch of games for a monthly payment than take one payment.
Honestly, if they kept the online by itself and then did with NES games and then have everything else be SNES games, they might be doing that.
Almost like somebody made a video about that at the beginning of the year.
I wonder who did that.
Almost like somebody made a video about that at the beginning of the year.
Somebody made a video about this, and I don't remember who.
Yeah,
because I watched so many.
Was it Rob Regal?
I think his name was.
Was it Avidan Smith?
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Was it NX Revolution?
No, it definitely went NX.
No, it was not NX.
Wasn't it one of his 5 gyms?
My gosh. Either way, it's 9:30. We got to wrap this thing up here pretty soon. Plus, somebody's shooting fireworks outside my house. That's really annoying. So,
no.
So, regardless, we're going to wrap this thing up. A lot of fun. Patreon podcast. For those of you who are watching now or end up watching this in the future, this is not just for Patreons for this channel. It's for Patreons for the Chillcast, Patreons for Avidan, Your Player 2, whoever. If you want to be on here in the panel, hit me up. Hop on here. It's not just for this channel. It's for everybody in the Chill Squad. So, appreciate y'all for coming through. Let's go ahead and get these outros going. Let me just start with the Bumblebee and Killer Bacon himself. Let's say Bumblebee, but that's Transformers, not what you got. So, start with Jake.
Close enough. What's up, guys? I am Jaken. You can find me here on YouTube.
His name is Pro Jaken, by the way.
Doing live streams and also putting out some reviews.
Link here.
With the guest that was on here earlier. My alter ego. You can also follow me on Twitter at BaconJaken. But yeah, the channel's going well. Having a lot of fun lately. Come on through. Check it out.
Bet. Oh, snap. And after this, we're going to go ahead and raid Your Player 2 because apparently he's streaming Crash Team Racing right now. So we're going to hop over there and have everybody go over there after this. Anyway, let's go with you, Zach.
My name is Zach. I have a Twitter.
A Twitter?
That I tend to post some tracings and a few other things, like my link to a story I was working on.
Good story.
Thank you. Other than that, I am just a normal man.
Bet. Who's next? I'm trying to look here. We got Jake. Not another game collector.
Alrighty, well, I'm not another game collector. You can find me on YouTube at Not Another Game Collector, on Twitter at Adrian Red Olvera. Don't ask why I didn't I also have an Instagram where I put my thumbnails and stuff. You can find me at Not Another Game Collector on there as well. And I think I have Snapchat, but don't know anything about that. So, so swing on through if you like live streams, or I do retro videos, game pickups, things like that.
Loki.
How's everyone doing? Listen, I just have to say, as a Patreon on this podcast, Patreons and future Patreons, I cannot do this alone. I cannot make this podcast this great. It's not just If you want, you can subscribe to Nicktendo Direct. It'll make me happy. Don't subscribe to me. Don't go anywhere near my social media. I don't want any of you near me.
I'll post your link. Don't worry.
Thank
They're gonna tag you all in.
much, Mario Kart.
You're welcome.
Next we got Mario Kart 8. Is it Mario Kart 8 Troll? Mario Kart Troll?
Yeah.
Mario Kart 8 Troll, aka Nicholas. What's your Twitter? And what do you do on Twitter? And what do you do? You're like mod of the year. You're like a mod in everybody's channel.
I'm a mod in a lot of channels, not everybody.
He's the new Quantum L.
For real. For real.
I mean, well, no, not really. Yeah, so I'm on Twitter. I was on Twitch. I'll probably be going back sometime soon. Not sure yet when, but I'll be there.
Stuff in there. Post the link. Your Twitter. I don't think you can't post the link. Well, you can post the link. You're a mod. Yeah,
Yeah,
post
I'm
that
a
link.
mod. I can
Post
post
that
the
link. So, Avidan.
I just have my Twitter handle in there.
What up?
Go ahead, my guy.
So remember when I told you guys that I was gonna do mostly live streams and reactions?
Are you lying about that
He
now
changed his
again?
mind.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Lied again.
Not lied, but more so, I'm starting to understand that it's more so I got to the point, even before leaving for the trip, I wanted to challenge myself more. And I wanted to stop taking the easy way out, honestly. Just doing reactions and live streams was the easy way out of me not exactly, maintaining both channels. I could say, I could just do music here, and whatever's left over, I can bring back over here. And I felt like I wouldn't be giving you guys the full experience of me on both channels. So because of that, I just said, let me try out and do a new video. So I released a new video, which a lot of you actually liked a lot. There was a lot of good conversation with that. I just said I want to change that format up where I just talk to the camera straight through, and with really no jump cuts. I did just one or two, but honestly, they were just cutting out just small pauses I had, like you make sure you get to a friend. I didn't know how to use the Adobe Premiere to do a good zoom in. So I said, instead of doing a good zoom in, I just cut straight there. So it wasn't like I messed up or anything, but I want to do more videos where I'm just talking to you guys and giving you more what I think about something without worrying about, is this going to fill up, or is this going to be this, or how can I make a topic out of this? I'm just going to choose a random topic and just talk about it.
So RG25, okay.
And you see right there what you just said, I don't even want that. No offense to that.
Okay.
I want it more so to be my own. And that was the biggest thing that got me want to do opinions or anything. I want something that is totally my own. And that's why I've even halted on the music, because I felt like doing beat visualizers was lazy again. I felt like I wasn't putting out my best. And I said, if I'm going to do beat visualizers, I should do them in a way that nobody else is doing it. So to increase stock in myself, to show you guys that I am serious, and this is not me just blowing hot air this time, I actually purchased the Adobe suite, and I'm going to start paying for the entire Adobe collection and just using all of Adobe stuff, not just Filmora, which I used that for the whole time I've been on YouTube. That first video is me using Adobe Premiere Pro. And from there, I'm gonna start using After Effects, making my own effects for videos, making my own intros. And then eventually, if I get good enough, start helping out other YouTubers, teaching other people how to do the same thing. Maybe I make another channel for that or something. But right now, for myself, I just told myself I need to do something more. And I like talking about videos like that. I don't like right now. Nick could tell you sometimes I'll be like, oh man, I wish I could have did better with that. I could have I don't even care that this latest video has 88 views because this was real to me. This was something that I loved. I felt like this is something that a lot of us could relate to, where what was the first console that you ever bought with your own money? And for those of us who have finally ventured out on our own and started living on our own, you understand how expensive these consoles are.
Oh yeah.
So it's like being able to do that is just mind blowing to me. So that's why I'm changing up my direction with the channel in terms of like content. I'm hesitant on reactions only because I don't know. I may have to think of a different way to do reactions in a way that's more creative towards me, more that I'm having more fun with it. Opinions are fun. Reviews are coming back. Actually got a review that I'm doing for Russ Lyman, actually. So make sure you check his channel for that. And yeah, so I got a lot of things coming up. I'm going to be working hard. Actually, after I get off this podcast, I'm going to work in After Effects to put the finishing touches on tomorrow's video, because the audio for tomorrow's video is done. It's just working on the visuals for you guys. And I think that's the part that gets me the most, because I love what I'm doing so much and I'm sharing it with you guys. Hey, what's up, dogs? How you doing? I want to take more time to give you guys my best product, and because you guys are taking and giving me your time, I want it to be a proper trade-off, something that you could not only just listen to, but something that's also visually pleasing as well. If it's just something you want to listen to, there's SoundCloud for that. So because I'm understanding this is a video sharing platform, I want to give you guys the best videos altogether. So that's what's been up with me. This vlog that I'm doing for Too Many Games is going to be a lot of fun. I guarantee you guys are going to especially like the intro. If you guys, some of you who follow me on Twitter already saw the intro. That's what I'm going to say. You saw it. You saw it. You saw it. Both of you didn't saw it.
Avidan, if I'm the derailer, then what are you?
First of all, they're doing on what keeps everything. If you want to talk about what we're doing, I'm actually staying on topic and tell you what's next to my channel. So I'm actually on topic. But you, sir, are a professional line stepper and a professional derailer at the same time. You work 2 jobs. Man,
I'm so good at my job, I get to do other people's.
Man, if you had a woman, she'd be so proud of you right now, man. Woof.
Oh,
my man got 2 jobs. Oh man, but anyway, that's why I got coming up next. Sorry to be a little bit long-winded, but since a lot of you are part of my community as well, I figured, and those of you watching, you got all part of the patrons.
Right.
And I'm out here. I feel like it's a good place to tell you guys that I haven't forgotten about you guys. Sorry, I've been quiet for most of the part. I just been taking time to really polish what's going to be the best content and going to Too Many Games, having great conversations with, Rags, Sincere, Jordan Fringe, and a whole bunch of other people. Chips and Snakes, Annex Revolution, just having conversations with them really made me focus a bit more. That's why, if you notice, even with this podcast, I'm not even distracted. I'm focused on what I need to do.
He's focused, ready to go.
So it's kind of like you're focused in your eye. You had like an eye opener, like, hey, this is what I want to do now.
He ready to go. I hear it. And I feel it. He's ready to go. Chris, let everybody know what you've been doing, homie.
So as y'all can tell, I've been live streaming again on YouTube because I'm out of jail. And I had to tell several people to stop retweeting that, because after OJ did it, a bunch of people started going, hey, I want to retweet this. And I'm like, oh, I'm back live stream. But anyway, what's going on for me, if you're part of my Discord, you see me do an update there and all that. I'm kind of being more serious with what I'm doing on YouTube, and I'm letting my mixer be for like my overflow streams and all that. Getting set times for my streams on YouTube, 2 to 3 times per week, and then you get 2 videos per week. Because T-Belly, he talked to me in a Voxer, and he said, man, for your channel, you need to do these 2 or 3 live streams, but when you do your videos, do 2 videos per week, and try to do that for a whole month. And get that good edited content out. I know you want to put your music out there, so why don't you do your music or shout out be one of your videos, and then do something strictly gaming for your other video. And I said, I'm going to try that out for starting in July. Do that. And I'm also looking at making sure my streams are better, to me focusing on the game, but also focusing it on the people that are there in the chat as well, evenly. Because sometimes, as Avidan has mentioned to me before, I get focused in my game and I forget about the chat sometimes. And I need it. If I'm going to live stream and let people see me, I got to entertain those people as well. So I'm trying to make sure I do everything better because I want to get to that 1K. I want to get to the monetization. So I've got to do things professionally. So I'm being more strict on my YouTube channel, but over on my mixers, if I want to stream something random or something outside of something that I'm working on, then I'll go over on Mixer and build a platform there and do it there. But that's pretty much what's going on with me.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Everybody's really focused, man. Everybody's super focused and ready to go. It seems like after E3 and after many games, everybody got focused on what they want to do. I like it. Everybody is locked in to what they want to do.
Yeah, no more like Nick, and even if you guys want to go ahead and talk more when we get on. I got to share with you guys.
I bet. So you guys know who this is. You know the channel. This is Nicktendo Direct. You guys know what I do here. I do the live streams. We do the podcast on Sundays. Anything game related is on this channel. Majority of it's going to be live streams. I do have a separate channel called Studio Nicktendo where I do metalcore, hardcore, pop punk covers of video game songs. I got a video coming out tomorrow, and I am excited for this one. It is a Splatoon 2 song. So that's coming tomorrow morning at 11.
Kazoo's going to be happy.
Exactly. At 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. Be on the lookout for that one. It's going to be a good one. I am very proud of this one. This one is a good work. So, again, appreciate y'all come through. All the patrons that came through, appreciate y'all. This has been, I'm going to copy Avidan here. This has been Avidan, Chris Levi, Loki, Mario Kart.
You want me to do it for you? You want me to do it?
Zachary.
You want me to do it for you?
Go for it. And I'm going to cut it out. I like it. Go for it.
There we go. All right. So, thank you guys for coming through. We really appreciate you for watching. Oh, are you rating anyone?
Your player 2.
Go rate 2 chain. Go player 2.
Player 2 or go
player 2.
Which
is also streaming too.
What you guys want to do? You guys watch gameplay? You want to go to another podcast? Go to another dope discussion? Go chain and talk about Etika. What you guys want to do?
It's up to y'all.
Over.
Not just Etika, but
he finished streaming it.
Oh, he finished streaming. All right, so no, never mind. What's your player 2?
Is it your player 2 or Kazoo who's still streaming? That's what
your player 2.
All right,
Kazoo's still streaming too, I think.
Your player 2 is playing Crash Team Racing. Kazoo is playing. I think she's playing Zelda.
Breath of the Wild. Yeah.
Yeah. So Crash Team Racing or Zelda depends on you guys.
Yes,
I would say Crash Team Racing if you guys want to
do that. Do that one.
Josh deserves it.
Your player 2 right there. Posted the link. Go for it.
All right, so guys, thank you guys for watching another Nicktendo Direct podcast. Make sure you hit that like button if you're watching the replay. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and most of all, you make sure you share this with a friend. This is Avidan, Zachary, Pro Jake, and also known as the Don, Adrian, also known as Not Another Game Collector, Mario Kart 8 Troll, Loki, and Chris Levi, Nicktendo Direct / Studio Nicktendo, and we are out. Peace.
What if I don't have any friends?